The cruise crew works tirelessly to make your vacation feel effortless. But what if some of your habits are secretly driving them crazy? They'll always smile and stay professional, but behind the scenes, there are certain behaviors they truly loathe. Some of these are small annoyances, others create massive headaches for them, and a few can put a crew member in an impossible situation because of something you did. Today, we're exposing the 16 things cruise passengers do that crew secretly hate. Let's start with the mistake that thousands of passengers, maybe even you, make the moment they board. Number 1. Entering cabins too early. Crew members find this first one incredibly annoying, and it happens the moment you board. Embarkation day is also turnaround day for the crew, meaning they have a massive amount of work to do on a tight schedule. Before hallways are officially opened, your cabin attendant is working hard to prepare your room. When you sneak past the fire doors to get to your cabin early, even just to drop off your bags, you physically get in their way, hindering their work and slowing down the entire process. Typically, you must wait until about 1 to 1:30 p.m. for the announcement that cabins are ready. The exception is for high loyalty status or purchase perks like Carnival's Faster to the Fun, which permit early bag drop-off. But even then, the rule is to quickly drop your luggage and leave immediately so the attendant can finish their work. Otherwise, wait for the PA announcement or for the corridor doors to be propped open. Number 2. Leaving a messy cabin. While you're not expected to clean your cabin on vacation, your attendant is not your personal servant, and they secretly dread opening the door to a disaster zone. This means a huge mess of clothes on the floor, old food containers on counters, or garbage left anywhere but the trash can. Not only does this make their job harder and more time-consuming, but what most passengers don't realize is that for their own protection, crew are instructed not to touch personal clothes for fear of being accused of theft. This means if your clothes are all over the floor, that area simply won't be cleaned. So do them a massive favor. Take 30 seconds to put clothes in one spot and keep surfaces relatively tidy. Your cabin attendant will appreciate it, and you'll come back to a much cleaner room. Number 3. Flushing inappropriate items. This next point is one of the most critical. Crew members absolutely loathe anything that threatens the ship's delicate vacuum plumbing system. Unlike the toilet at home, the system is only designed for the ship's special thin toilet paper. Flushing anything else, including your own thick plush toilet paper from home, tissues, cotton swabs, or especially so-called flushable wipes, can cause a catastrophic clog. A clog on a ship doesn't just affect your cabin. It can create a chain reaction of disgusting backups in many other rooms, forcing the crew to deal with an emergency maintenance nightmare. The rule is simple. If it didn't come from the ship, it does not go in the toilet. Use the trash can and feel free to ask your attendant for an extra bag. Number 4. Walking barefoot and improper attire. Moving into the ship's public areas, let's talk about hygiene. A major pet peeve for the crew is passengers walking around barefoot inside. Aside from being unhygienic, on most cruise lines this is an actual health and safety violation. The crew is responsible for maintaining standards, and they loathe seeing bare feet in places like the buffet or cafes. This extends to another huge annoyance: putting your feet, with or without shoes, up on lounge furniture. Nobody wants to see feet on a coffee table where they are about to place their food or drink. Furthermore, the crew dislikes having to enforce basic dress codes in dining areas. This includes seeing men in the buffet or casual restaurants bare-chested or in wet swimwear. It's a violation of the ship's code of conduct and hygiene that they are forced to address. The rule is simple. Inside public venues, please wear shoes and proper attire. Number 5. Ignoring your kids. While cruises are great for families, it's a major source of stress for the crew when they are treated like babysitters. This is especially critical in pool areas, Even with lifeguards on duty, they are there for emergencies, not to supervise each child individually. The crew's biggest concern is safety. Seeing unsupervised children climbing on railings or running wild in crowded areas is a huge liability that makes them incredibly nervous. It also forces them into the uncomfortable position of disciplining a child, which isn't their job and can impact the experience of other guests. Outside of the designated kids clubs, supervision is always the parent's responsibility. For your children's safety and the crew's peace of mind, please keep a close eye on them. Number 6. Making late-night noise. Here's something that's easy to forget when you're in vacation mode. A cruise ship is not just a floating resort, it's also a home. The crew members live here, and hundreds of your fellow passengers are trying to sleep just on the other side of a thin cabin wall. Crew members often work long, demanding shifts, and need their rest just as much as you do. They absolutely loathe when passengers are shouting, having loud conversations, or being generally boisterous in the hallways late at night. It's deeply disrespectful to both the crew and the other guests. The rule of thumb is simple. After 10 p.m., treat the hallways and areas near the cabins exactly as you would in a hotel. Keep your voices down and save the party for the nightclub or Lido deck. Number 7. Hogging deck chairs. This is perhaps the number one source of passenger conflict on any given cruise, and it puts the crew in an impossible situation. We're talking about saving pool chairs. Here's the crew's secret dilemma. They are stuck in a total no-win situation. If they don't enforce the rules and remove the books and towels from empty chairs, they have to listen to complaints all day from the hundreds of other guests who can't find a seat. But if they do enforce the rule and remove your belongings, they risk getting yelled at by you when you return an hour later. They absolutely hate being put in the middle of this conflict. They don't want to touch your things, but they also want to ensure the amenities are available for everyone. Please don't put them in that position. If you're leaving the pool deck for more than 30 or 40 minutes, take your belongings with you and free up the chair for someone else. Number 8. Filming crew without asking. In today's world of TikTok, Instagram stories, and YouTube vlogs, we are all content creators on our vacation. But it's crucial to remember that while you are the star of your vacation video, the crew members may not want an unwilling co-starring role. Pointing a camera or a phone in a crew member's face while they're working can be an invasion of their privacy. For any number of reasons, they might be shy, they might have personal reasons, or they simply may not want to be on a stranger's social media feed. They have a right to not be filmed. Now, many crew members are fantastic and love being in videos and will happily wave at your camera. But you should never assume. The solution is simple courtesy. Just ask first. A quick, "Do you mind if I film?" shows a massive amount of respect for them as a person, not just as an employee. Number 9. Complaining instead of asking. Even on the best cruise lines, small things can sometimes go wrong. But how you choose to handle it makes all the difference to the crew. What they secretly dislike is when a guest takes a minor, easily fixable issue and immediately escalates it by going straight to guest services. Or, even worse, the passenger who says nothing at all during the cruise, only to leave a scathing review in the post-cruise survey. Going over a crew member's head for something small feels disrespectful and tells them you don't trust them to do their job. Plus, they can't fix a problem they don't know exists. Always give the direct crew member the first chance to make it right. If there's an issue with your meal, speak to your waiter. If a light bulb is out in your cabin, tell your stateroom attendant. They can often fix it immediately. Number 10. Demanding off-menu food. The crew in the main dining room will often go to incredible lengths to make you happy, but there's a huge difference between a polite request and an entitled demand. Asking for something simple that isn't on the menu, like a plate of fruit for dessert or some plain grilled chicken for a picky eater, is almost always fine, and the staff is usually happy to accommodate. But you have to remember, the ship's galley is serving thousands of meals in a very short time. It's a fine-tuned operation, and demanding complex custom dishes creates a major disruption. But here's the most important part: a real insider secret. If the crew does go above and beyond and makes you a special dish, the absolute best way to thank them is to keep it to yourself. The moment you tell your table mates or post a photo of it on Instagram, other passengers start demanding the same treatment. Suddenly, the kind gesture they made for you has turned into a massive headache for them. Appreciate their kindness, but do it discreetly. Number 11. Blaming crew for rules. This is a big one because it happens in the bars, the dining rooms, and at guest services. Nothing frustrates a crew member more than getting yelled at for a corporate policy that they did not create but are required to enforce. A classic example is the corkage fee. If you bring your own wine to the dining room, your waiter is obligated to charge that fee, and arguing is pointless. And, just to be clear, that is a fee for drinking your own wine in their venue, not for using their corkscrew. A screw cap bottle isn't exempt. The same applies at the bar. If your drink package has a daily limit, the bartender must follow that rule for safety and compliance. Taking your frustration out on them just ruins their day. Remember, the crew are enforcers, not creators of the rules. If you dislike a policy, take it up with the cruise line in the post-cruise survey. Number 12. Storing your card in awkward places. This next point is a bit awkward, but it's a huge pet peeve for any crew member who has to handle your cruise card, from the bartenders to the staff in the ship's boutiques. While it may seem like a convenient place to store your key card, please avoid keeping it in your bra or sweaty swimwear. Remember, to process a payment or check your identity, a crew member must physically take that card from you, handle it, and hand it back. Receiving a warm, damp card is unsanitary and makes the interaction incredibly uncomfortable for them. Please do them a massive favor. Treat your cruise card like a credit card. Keep it in a dry, accessible place like a pocket, a small bag, or a lanyard. Number 13. Tipping on the bill. This is a critical and misunderstood topic in cruising, and getting it right is the best way to show genuine appreciation. This isn't about automatic gratuities, it's about giving extra for truly exceptional service. Let's say your waiter or bartender was incredible and you want to add an extra $20 tip on the receipt. While convenient, what many crew members will tell you privately is that they'd prefer you didn't. Depending on the ship's policy, that money can get put into a general pool or be heavily processed, and it may not go directly to the person who earned it. If you truly want to reward a specific crew member for their outstanding service, the absolute best way is with cash, given directly to them. A discreet handshake with the cash folded inside is a classic, appreciated method that ensures 100% of your generosity goes to the individual who made your cruise special. Number 14. Asking to break rules. This next behavior moves from being just annoying into being deeply disrespectful because it puts a crew member's entire livelihood at risk. This is when a passenger asks a crew member to knowingly bend or break a clear-cut rule for their personal convenience. This could be asking a bartender to serve your underage child, trying to bring a friend who isn't in a suite into the exclusive suite lounge, or asking an attendant to let a child who is too short go on a water slide. You have to understand, you are not just asking for a small favor. You are asking that crew member to risk their job. These rules are set by the corporate office, and if an employee is caught breaking one, they can be disciplined or even immediately fired. By asking, you put them in an impossible position. Either they disappoint you, or they risk their career for your minor convenience. It is an incredibly unfair and stressful situation. The rule is simple: never do it. Number 15. Demanding perks and upgrades. Let me let you in on a little secret that will save you a lot of frustration. It is extremely rare to get a cabin upgrade once you are on the ship. Most cruise lines now use pre-cruise bidding systems to fill their unsold premium cabins, so the ship is usually full when you board. Because of this, the crew at guest services secretly loathe when passengers come and demand an upgrade, especially if they try to use their loyalty status as leverage. Your platinum or diamond status entitles you to the specific published perks for that tier, not unlimited preferential treatment. This sense of entitlement also extends to service. The crew are there to accommodate you, but they are not your personal servants with limitless resources. Demanding huge, costly adjustments like a complete off-menu meal for your entire party disrespects the reality of running a floating city for thousands of guests. All right, before we get to our final and most important point, if you're finding this video helpful, please take a moment to give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future cruising tips. Number 16. Being rude or disrespectful. Finally, our last point isn't one action, but an overall attitude that makes the cruise job miserable. Acting entitled, intrusive, or just plain rude. This includes yelling at a crew member for any reason. There's never an excuse. It's criticizing their accent when they are often speaking multiple languages to serve you. It's also being intrusive, asking personal questions about their salary, their family, or their life back home is highly inappropriate. This extends to not respecting their time, monopolizing a busy bartender, or holding your cabin steward in a long conversation can prevent them from getting to their essential tasks. And on the most basic level, it's completely ignoring them when they greet you with a smile in the hallway. It all comes down to this. The crew are hard-working professionals, thousands of miles from their homes, doing their best to give you a great vacation. They are not your personal servants, and ultimately, forgetting that is the foundation of the attitude they loathe the most. More than any single action, they despise being treated with a sense of entitlement that ignores their hard work and their basic humanity. So now I'd love to hear from you. What are some passenger behaviors you've seen on your cruises that the crew likely can't stand? Let me know your thoughts and stories down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and happy cruising.